What's up, traders? Before we get into today's live trade recap on EurJpy, a lot of value here today. I want to let you know all week, in case you missed yesterday's video, we are running a sale on the ASFX course and VIP chat. You can take advantage of the 31% off sale all week this week if you just use the link in the description below. The code at checkout is SPOOKYPIPS. So if you aren't involved in our team, if you're not in the VIP chat, if you're not taking the course yet, this week is the week to get involved. 31% off because Riley thinks the whole week we need to do the sale because she's crazy. But that's what she wants to do, so that's what you guys get. 31% off all week long. Spooky Pips is the code. Link in the description below. Now let's get into the trade recap here on EurJpy. What's up, traders? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we've got a live trade on EurJpy long here this morning. I want to flip quickly. As you can see, I'm down about 3 pips. I want to flip quickly to Forex Factory to show you we have high impact news here at 7:45 that just came out. It's the Euro monetary policy statement and main refinancing rate. Let's see. Did they leave the rate the same? Yes, they did. So that would tell me that this shouldn't spike around too much. I am trading this off 1 minute divergence, very low risk here, just about 8 pips, 7 pips. And I think that we could see this thing pop here on the 15 minute after yesterday's move off the divergence from Tuesday. So if you're looking at this from a full picture, Tuesday into Wednesday, we set the divergence bottom. Overall, EMAs are in an uptrend. Today, I'm looking to see if we can hold the 200 and potentially come higher, retesting the high set here from the initial news spike this morning. There was PMI news this morning back at 315, 330, and that always shakes up Euro pairs. But now here, I'm trading it long off the 200, TDIs in the buy zone, EMAs say buy, we have space on ADR, so I'm gonna trust the method. I'm gonna give this thing time. Even if it stops me out, I'm going to stay focused, going to stay patient on this direction and look for re-entries. I think that Euros are going to move higher today. I know that there is a lot of news that could chop us around, so I'm aware of that, but once we get through 8:30 through the press conference, we're good to go. There isn't a lot of news, and I think these Euro pairs are going to rise. So I'm going to come back on and update you guys in a little bit. If we flip back to MetaTrader, you can see I'm down just 3 pips here. Plenty of time to still sit in this trade and see it retest that high set earlier today. So I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you checking out the channel. If you're not subscribed already, hit that red button below me, join the team, join the family. And like I said, I'll keep you posted on this trade as it develops. All right, guys, as you can see, I was just stopped on the trade for about an 8 pip loss. This trade, I only had about 0.25% risk on it. So between the trade yesterday on Euro USD, the small loss there of about 0.75%, now the loss here on EurJpy, 0.25%, I'm only down about 1% between the 2 trading days this week. It's been a very choppy week for all of us. So for me to only be down 1%, it's very manageable. I'm now gonna shift over and look at the GBP pairs. I do like the divergence on the 1 minute here on GBP AUD. That's showing me some strength. This could rise. And I like the 15 minute a lot here on GBP NZD. So I'm going to keep my eyes here, see if I can find an entry, call this out with the VIP guys, and I'll keep you posted. But I wanted to let you know we took the loss very quickly, keep that stop tight, and now we come back and look for another good entry. So we stay focused, stay to the process, and we're going to make the money back. Watch. All right, guys, it is now 8:23. So you saw the first stop out on EurJpy, but as you can see in front of you, I am in the position again, long, same trade. I just think I was a little bit early. I think getting in before the news probably caused me to get stopped. I think more often than not, if you watch my recaps, you find me saying this a lot. Very rarely are we wrong, just early. So here, if we flip over to the 1 minute, the divergence that I entered on this morning, the first position that ended up getting stopped here, is still building. RSI is not making new lows, but price action is. So that's giving me more confidence that we do have a significant level down here. I think it is around 120.80, and that's where I have my stop set right now. And I'm looking to go get at least 2R out of this trade. To cover the first loss, I'm in with the same size, right? Very small risk today because it's a choppy market. But I'm looking to cover that and end profitable here on the day, and I'm still going to watch the GBP pairs to see what they want to do. I'm still watching GA and GN if they're going to come higher. I like what GN is doing here on the 15 minute. We might be able to get a push higher off the 21 EMA. I'm looking at the zone set here. This was right at the start of the London session. Look at how we broke above the zone, came back, retested it, and have been holding it really, really nicely. So now I'm just waiting for the breakout signal here on the 15 minute. I will most likely take a position here if it presents clean enough, but I like what EurJpy is doing. I don't want to ignore this, and on the 15 minute, if I have a good entry here at the bottom, when we find pairs that are trending like this all day, let me show you. We could catch a move here that runs back up to the new high, and that goes 4, 5, 6, 7R. That'll cover the earlier loss, it'll cover yesterday's loss and end me profitable on the week. So I'm gonna try to manage this one well, but I'm not gonna ignore what the GBP pairs are doing. I like GA coming up and I like GN coming up slowly here. So it's got to form correctly, but if it does, I'm not going to ignore that. So I am long EurJpy, second position of the day, another 0.25% risk. If I lose this trade, I'm down 0.5% today. So that would be down 0.75 yesterday on EU, and then if I lose this one, I'll be down 0.5 here on EJ. Still manageable. That's why I, am okay with taking the second entry. I won't go back at this thing a third time though if it stops me out. I'll let it, sit if I lose again, and I'll just mark it up. So I'm not being emotional. I'm not reacting just to what the chart is doing. I'm watching the divergence build. I like the break at the 50 EMA, and I think we're going at least to 92, 120.92 right here, maybe higher. So I'm going to manage. I'll keep you posted, but I wanted to let you know I took another entry here, so we got to give this one time and keep our eye on these GBP pairs as they start to move. All right, guys, the second position on EurJpy got stopped here right before the press conference started. That was at 8:30, and now since then, it's been bouncing back up. So I'm down 0.5% on the day. With the EU loss yesterday, that puts me down about 1.25% between the 2 days. So the big lesson here, as we're watching EJ come back up, the big lesson here is consistency behind the sizing. Because I'm not hitting these trades super heavy, because they're not A setups, right? I'm able to save myself big losses by taking them small, grading them down, grading them appropriately within the system. So make sure when you're trading, the system that you're using, whether it's mine or anybody else's, has a grading checklist of parameters that you can go down and say, look, this is better than this because A, B, and C are met on this trade, not on this trade, and that's why I want to be in this one. When you do that, you can then take a setup like EurJpy today and trade it twice, because you're not hitting it with 2% every trade because you know it's not an A setup. So if I get stopped out on the first small one, I can wait. Maybe I was early like I thought I was, and I can get back in and take the second entry like I did this morning. Now getting stopped on the second entry, I am going to be more cautious jumping back in a third time. But I'm also not going to ignore technical signals. But I wanted to come on, update you guys, show you the P&L, let you know I am down about 0.5% on the day. 2 losses, 2 small losses, about 8 pips each on EurJpy. I'm going to stay focused, see what else we can find. We're headed into the New York session. The news is clearing up, so maybe we can get back in this one. Maybe we find one of these GBP pairs that's moving. We'll see what things are looking like. They look down right now. Yeah, GA down, GN down. I'm focused on EurJpy. I think this thing is going to rise today. So I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know if I go back at this one or if we just take the 2 losses and come back tomorrow. All right, guys, it is 8:55. I literally just took my third entry and it's taken off on EurJpy. This is exactly what I was talking about when I said to you earlier in this video, sometimes we are early, very rarely are we wrong. This is a perfect example of that. I'm up 20 pips now on the trade. It looks perfect. Say it needed news, say it needed whatever. The technicals told me that this thing could push higher today. All I needed was the signal on the 1 minute, and I was early. I was definitely early. But now, look at it. It broke the 50 again, and we are taking off. So this is what I'm talking about. When I get fired up about it, because I don't say this shit for fun. I tell you guys, if you're good at taking losses, you will not miss re-entries. I'm good at taking losses. I don't care if I lose. I just want to make sure I don't miss good entries. That's why I'm back in the trade. That's why we're making money here today. Now I'm going to shut the fuck up and let this thing sit and hopefully go break for a new high of day. If I can get this thing up to 120, 140, I'll probably be able to cover the loss from yesterday and the 2 losses from earlier today. So let me shut this camera off, go calculate that math. I'll come back on with you guys as I handle this trade properly. All right, guys, it is 9:01. We are now into the New York session. I'm up 21 pips. Just took about 20% of the position off to start to cover back the 2 losses we took earlier, but I have my take profit set way higher at 121.54. I think this has plenty of potential today to move higher, retesting that high set earlier today from the initial news spike, maybe even breaking that. If we can push up to 121.40-ish, I'm going to cover not only the losses from earlier today, but also, like I said earlier, the losses from yesterday. So this has the potential to be a great trade for me. But now what I need to do, now that I'm in the trade and I know what these trades can do when we catch the bottom like this, they could move all day when they have full trend like this on the 15 minute. So what I'm going to do now is walk away. I'll be back in 15 minutes. The stop loss is locked in profit, as you guys can see. If I can switch back to MetaTrader, my mouse is frozen. Hold on. Don't buy a cheap mouse, guys. Switch back to MetaTrader. You see the stop is locked in profit, so I can't lose any money on this trade. I've already bagged a little bit. I'm going to take actually a little bit more here, because what I should do is cover to make sure I don't lose those 2, lose more than the 2 earlier losses. Cover those up. This might come back, retest the 50 here before it continues. So I'm staying in. You see the stop is locked. Took off a little bit more there. I'll put the P&L up. We're going to start to piece our way out, but I'm going to do my best to cover that loss from yesterday too with this position. 902, 903. I'll come back in a little bit and check in with you guys. All right, guys, it is now 9:43. I was just stopped in profit on the small piece of the trade that I still had in. I think that there's a lot of value in this pair, in this day of trading that I can share with you that you've hopefully taken out of this recap video so far. But just to sum everything up one more time, we took the first entry, lost 9 pips, only about minus 0.25%. Saw the second entry on the 1 minute as the divergence build, took another entry. I lost 8 pips there, another 0.25%. So now I was down 0.5% going into the rest of the trading day, but I still liked the divergence set up here on the 1 minute. I still thought we could see the pop, and that's exactly what we did. Now, this was driven by news, but that's something that we can't anticipate. So you have to just trade good technicals, and I thought we could get, like I said, that initial pop. So I took the the third entry, again, another 8 pip stop down at 120.80, and it did move from that entry about 25 pips in total. The best exit that I had was at 121.10.8. So pretty close to the top right here. It went as high as 121.13.1. So I pulled a pretty good amount off of this trade, but because I sized into this one a little bit heavier, the win here covered both of those losses and put me profitable on the day, as you can see from the P&L above my head. So by staying focused, not letting the losses get to me, trusting the method, trusting what the higher time frames were telling me, I was confident to get in the third time, confident to add a little bit of size to it because I just knew that we were going to get a pop. Now, of course, I have to be willing to be wrong, right? And if I had lost that trade, I would have been down about, let's just say, a full percent, maybe a little bit more on the day with spread and things like that. Still, even being down 1%, I'm willing to take that kind of a hit if I can go in and potentially cover the losses on the other side of that. And that's what I did here today. So I hope the biggest lesson, the one thing you take out of this, is that if you're really good at taking losses, you're not going to miss re-entries like this. If you have a good system, you're not going to miss re-entries like this if you accept losses well. So I hope you learned something here today. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we are running a Halloween sale all week this week. The link is in the description below, 31% off. The code is SPOOKYPIPS. If you want to take advantage, if you're not on the team already, this week, this sale is one of our best ever. This is the time to do it. So I hope you learned something today. Make sure you're subscribed. If you want to take advantage of the sale, link is in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next live trade.